News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. There's your closing bell for this Monday on Wall Street, where traders bet the Federal Reserve will cut rates next week, pushing stocks higher on speculation that policy easing will keep powering corporate America. And we do bring you the closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 gained 14 points. NASDAQ gained 98 points. The Dow gained 115 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.04%. The 2-year yield at 3.49%. French Premier François Bayrou lost a confidence motion in Parliament, forcing a third change in the French government in just over a year, reviving uncertainty over how the country can tackle its mounting debt burden. Bloomberg's Oliver Crook says this was expected.
He was giving interviews all week, the Prime Minister, and they basically were opening the interview saying, how does it feel to be in your few last days? And that is a sentiment that was validated today by the French Parliament that voted no confidence for the fourth Prime Minister over the last 2 years.
Hear more from Oliver Crook on the Bloomberg Balance of Power podcast. President Emmanuel Macron, who is expected to accept Bayrou's resignation tomorrow, will now have to decide whether to name a new premier or dissolve the National Assembly and call a new election. The Supreme Court is clearing the way for federal agents to conduct sweeping immigration operations in Los Angeles. The justices lifted a restraining order from a judge who found that roving patrols were conducting indiscriminate arrests in L.A. The order had barred agents from stopping people solely based on their race, language, job, or location. California Congressman Mark Takano says it reminds him of how Japanese Americans were detained in camps during World War II.
I am very troubled by the majority on this Supreme Court that they would allow racial profiling to be used by ICE officials.
Hear that entire interview with Congressman Takano on the Balance of Power podcast. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts says President Trump can temporarily oust a Democratic member of the Federal Trade Commission. Roberts set a September 15th deadline for Rebecca Kelly Slaughter's lawyers to respond to the Justice Department's request to keep the commissioner out of her job longer term while that legal fight continues. Slaughter tells ABC she plans to keep fighting.
Congress designed these agencies like the FTC, like the Fed, like the SEC, the whole panoply of independent agencies to have bipartisan voices so that there could be accountability and transparency.
The Trump administration is asking the Supreme Court to consider overturning a 1935 precedent that allows Congress to set up independent agencies and shield their leaders from being fired. Trump also lost his appeal of an $83.3 million penalty in E. Jean Carroll's defamation lawsuit. The court concluded the trial judge properly handled the case and the damages are reasonable. U.S. job growth in the year through March was less robust than government figures currently show. Economists expect the Bureau of Labor Statistics preliminary benchmark revision, which comes out tomorrow, to show the March payrolls count was about $800,000 less than currently estimated. Katrina Dudley, public market senior investment strategist at Franklin Templeton, says those March revisions add to her optimism.
What we see is just some really good positive things. We've dealt with the tariff news very positively. We do think, I think we've changed slightly. We think that there was likely to be a Fed cut that comes in this next meeting.
Katrina Dudley at Franklin Templeton. And Wall Street is betting the Fed will cut rates next week. Steve Englander, global head of G10FX research at Standard Chartered, discusses the need for the Fed to cut rates by 50 basis points at the September meeting.
I think they can find a consensus that says the last 4 months payrolls have averaged 27,000. Had we known 4 months ago that that's going to be the average, we probably would have cut by now. So we're going to do a 50 and then say we've moved much closer to neutral. We can wait and see.
Steve Englander with Standard Chartered tells Bloomberg Surveillance anything less than a 50 basis point cut would be a policy error. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. This is Bloomberg.